What's up? I am here. This is Miss G. How are y'all tonight? Welcome, welcome, welcome back to another chapter of Let's Talk about Africa. Let's talk, let's travel, and let's move to Africa, baby. So, we are talking about tonight a real special. This country is really, really special. Margie, what's up? Welcome. This country is very special because most countries, you know, the continent is full of just beauty and wildlife and lush and tropical, all of that. But Uganda's different. Uganda's really different because you can go on safari in other places, but cousin Akani, welcome back, cousin. You can travel to many countries and do many safaris, but Uganda is one of the places. Put in the chat if anyone knows why Uganda is different when it comes to the landscape, what you will find in Uganda. Anybody know? Does anybody know? Hey, Miss Angie, welcome back. Anybody know why Uganda is so different? Uganda has a rich history, but what I have researched, and I want to welcome everyone. My name is Gloria for Miss Gloria, Miss G, Glow. Depends on when you met me, what you want to call me. I am an avid traveler, 50 plus traveler, solo traveler, um, professional travel agent. I don't have a travel business. I am a certified travel consultant that curates travel. Um, so just want to give you that. I have fell in the continent of Africa when my former employer uh, did not really recognize Africa and the value. I just couldn't understand, especially how much uh, Sienna, how much you can make, just the dollars that's on the table going to the continent. And the crazy thing is they don't recognize it, but that's all that's over there. We're not there. When I go to the continent, I'm usually the only black person uh, in tourist spaces. Mind blowing. And I've gone not for a long time, but in since 21, I've gone about 7 times, and I'm always the only one. So anyway, after I saw that my former employer, big credit card company, starts with an A, ends with an X, kind of sort of their abbreviation, so I won't get sued. But yeah, I reached out and I said, hey, I would love to be a representative because I don't see Africa represented on your website. There's only 2 countries that y'all are advertising on your website, and that's Mauritius and Seychelles. They ignored me. Mauritius and Seychelles, if people know, it's not even connected to the continent. So they totally ignored the entire continent of Africa and used the 2 little island nations to represent Africa that I thought was very interesting. So then they eventually told me that, oh, well, based on our metrics, no one travels to Africa. I said, okay, Amex, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing, Amex. Okay, okay. So I just prepared myself. God was in control, prepared myself. They said that they released me because I didn't ask a young man his birthday, but they was just trying to clean house. They're like, we're not paying all these people all this money to sit at home. So it's all good because I already felt it, already prepared if they did, and it's okay. And we getting going, and it's giving me the opportunity to study. But I don't have anything against them because they gave me great training. But anyway, forget them. Okay, we have more important things to do. So um, Africa, the continent, fell in love with it. Planning on expatriating to it very shortly within the next 4 months by the latest November. But probably October, I'm out. Like folks thought I was playing, but I'm out. I'm out. So if anyone needs assistance, if that's what y'all are planning on doing and just don't know where to start, I can definitely assist you there. It's a lot of moving pieces going on in different places. So do me a favor, put in the chat. Yeah, put in the chat if y'all plan to go to the motherland in the next year or two. Just put in the chat and where y'all plan on going. So we're talking about Uganda. I have a lot of great info for Uganda. And if anyone puts in the chat, what time is it? Timestamp, timestamp. By 10 after 9, this is Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to send you, I have a bumper sticker of repatriation. It's a really cool bumper sticker. I don't have it like right there. I don't want to run away from my desk, but I'll show it tomorrow. Make sure I have it. I'll send you one to your house. My on postage on me, and I say that proudly because has anyone like saw how much a stamp costs? Like I remember when stamps was freaking 10 cents. Why is it like 80 cents? Crazy, crazy. So let's talk about Uganda. All right. And anybody that puts in the chat why Uganda is different, I will be sending you a bumper sticker on me. Okay, Miss G, Miss Glow. Okay. So Uganda is in East Africa. Okay. So like there it's near Tanzania. On the other side is Kenya, but Tanzania and Kenya on the coast, but you actually inside. It's a landlocked country. It's about 400 miles away from. Hey, Daryl, welcome. I see y'all. Y'all came from Morocco. Y'all chilling. Um, y'all was on the motherland's land. So it's about 400 miles away from the Indian Ocean, but sitting on the equator. Isn't that cool? Sitting on the equator. And what else? I'm trying to find my notes. It always happens. Like, where did all of these like random things come from when I did not? Okay, so I just had myself. See, the devil be messing with me bad. Okay, there it is. Okay, so it is landlocked. It's about 47 million people and about 17. And hey, I keep forgetting about my YouTube. I'm also streaming live on YouTube. Please share. Sharing is caring, y'all. Sharing is caring. I'm on YouTube now. Hey, my YouTube people. Usually my YouTube people are international. Pop in the chat and say, hey, would love to hear from you. So Uganda, but it was called Buganda. Okay, it was called Buganda, and it it has history all the way to 1000 BC. That's crazy, right? 1000 BC, and the um the tribes, the people back then were the Bantus. And you know, the Bantus are very, very prevalent in pretty much a lot of the countries we talk about, right? And the Nilotic tribes, I'd be messing words up. But the crazy thing, how we've always heard, we think, those folks implemented slavery, right? But slavery obviously was a thing, definitely on class. And really to today, I don't see much of a difference of how people are treated based on class, right? Deidre, what's up? Welcome. So it was the Bantus and the Nilag tribes. Now, I want y'all to, we're in 2025, right? We were freed in 1865. That really wasn't that long ago, for real, right? 1865 is only 35 years from 1900, and most of us was born in the 1900s, so it's not that far, right? So back around 1840, the Swahili traders, I want to, I always give y'all a little history so y'all can understand each country and how we as a people are just amazing, because what we have gone through and where we are and where we continue to be. And let me tell y'all, if I haven't told y'all 50 million times already, Africa is now, Africa is the future. The next round of millionaires, billionaires, and their money trillionaires will come out of the continent of Africa. United States, if y'all want to hear it or not, is moving quickly towards third world country. And Africa is moving quickly towards first world country. And if anyone has been to the continent, they can co-sign for me. And do not listen to anyone that's never been to the continent to tell you about what's going on in the continent. Because what you see on TV is fake news. I have to agree with Orange Guy for one thing, right? So anyway, just giving you some tea, right? So in 1840s, and around 1840, mid 1800s, there were Swahili traders, right? Folks minding their business, because from 100 BC, it was kingdoms and chiefdoms. And they called it, hey Deirdre, they called it, it wasn't Uganda then, it was Buganda. This is what I'm going to make y'all laugh, right? Real quick. So, Buganda, the kingdom of Buganda, and the people were the Bagandas that spoke Luganda. Is that funny? That's so cute. And after their independence, that's like 1962, is Uganda. Now, going back to like the mid 1840s, and we were talking about how, usually these folks put us in slavery. This was a situation where they put their own people in slavery. So the Swahili traders, okay, came over pretty much, I think, from Tanzania, and to get ivory. So they was knocking off the elephants before the folks, right? But the folks came over. Oh shoot, my phone is starting to get hot again. No. Sorry, y'all. My phone be acting up. I got to upgrade. Soon as I paid my phone off, of course, it started acting up. So I got to get an upgrade. I got to break down, get an upgrade. Crystal, welcome. So the Swahili traders came in real quick because my phone's going to act stupid. The Swahili traders came in to Buganda at that time, the kingdom of Buganda, and wanted the elephants for the ivory. And for you to get the tusk, you got to off the elephant completely. That's why elephants are an endangered species, right? So then they also came to get the slaves, but it gets better. All right. So eventually in the 1800s, the word is out some type of way, and here comes the British. Now, the British claims when they came over, they wanted to stop the slave trade. That's so funny to me. But anyway, but the British came over. Oh, well, we want to, spread the word of God and introduce you to, a better religion, Christianity. So that's where these missionaries came over. And let me tell you something. I was married to an African. He said they never trusted missionaries. All the missionaries want to come is to poke them with some what's the name. He said he never trusted missionaries. Yeah, 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 yeah. But they came in the name of the Lord and changing what they had going. How you gonna come and tell me what I need, who I need to, you know, um, who I need to worship? But anyway, so the British came. So everybody breaking their neck to go to Europe to see Europe's beauty. But guess who financed Europe's beauty? The British came to get resources from the Nile River and saw a lot of lush resources that they turned into commercial to produce commercially. And that was coffee, cotton, copper to help build Britain's economic structure. Everything come from Africa. So all those beautiful buildings, all of that, and not just Britain, all these countries came to Africa, made money, and then built their countries. Built their countries. Okay. All right. So sorry, y'all. I'm gonna get a new phone because my phone be getting hot and acting silly. But anyway, so they came and introduced. I talked to you about how it was the kingdom and chiefdoms of Buganda for the Baganda people, and they speak Luganda. Now we Uganda, right? They got their independence in like 1962. That was cool, right? But then they had some crazy guy. His name was Milton Obote, and he took over like 1966. I guess these political figures, they be acting the same. So what he did, he had the nerve to um suspend parliament and say, no, we're doing it this way. Okay. And there was a Bugandan, I forgot the person's like title. My phone. Sorry about that, y'all. Sorry, sorry, sorry. I'm doing my phone and I'm doing here. Come on, we reconnecting. Why my phone be getting hot? Come on. You know what? I need to put some ice. Miles, do me a favor. I'm huh? Oh, okay. Let me do it. My son told me to do it without my case. Okay, hold on. I'm taking my case off, y'all, because I'm getting mad that my phone keeps getting hot. Okay, I took my case off. So hopefully it'll be better. Hey y'all. So sorry about that. So nope. It's hot again. Yeah, thank you. Okay. All right. We got something to cool the phone down. I so apologize. We got something to cool the phone down. I'm putting it. Oops. No, continue. Yep. So hopefully it'll cool down. I have some ice on it. So anyway, I'm black. I be juke legging. So anyway, so he wanted to, this was the guy, what's his name? Milton Obuti, real nasty guy, but he went and took it another level. So he got rid of he eliminated a Ugandan principal. His name was Edmund Motisa. And then, does anybody remember Idi Amin? Took it back. Idi Amin. Anybody? Does anybody remember Idi Amin, yo? Idi Amin was something else. He was something else. So basically, this guy Milton Obote set it up for Idi Amin to take over. I think it was like 1971 to 1979. And folks that was around at that time, even though I was like younger, that Idi Amin caused major havoc and offed probably 100 to over a million people, like just terrible. So that just fed into what we saw over in America about, Africa is unsafe and terrible and all of this and all that. But the good news is that in Uganda now, everything has changed. Everything has changed. They have a little drama still with the politics and the leadership, but it's a guy that, what's his name, that stepped in like the 80s, and he made it a point to turn around the economic conditions and the education. And Uganda is really moving forward. They are they have an explosion of construction going on. I saw that Hilton is building a big high-rise fancy hotel, y'all, in Uganda, in Africa. Yes, Hilton. Don't sleep. Follow the money. Follow the money. Today, Hilton is building this big hotel in Uganda. Uganda's roadways and infrastructure, fantastic, magnificent. Everybody think, oh, well, Uganda, you chasing gorillas. And that was the answer for y'all. Whoever put gorilla in the chat gets a bumper stick I'll send to them. That's the difference between Uganda and the other countries. And then, they have the rest of the big five, the chimpanzee, the lion. But the gorilla, that's where you do gorilla tracking, okay, in Uganda. So, but other than that, we'll get into the different things that you do. And mostly, if you are a nature person, you like to hike, you love just a lush landscape, this is a place for you. If you are thinking about on the expatriation side that you want to move, you want to retire there, chill. Chill. It's not overwhelming. Even their city of Kampala or Etebi is really, really chill and a great way of life. It's one of the safest, and pretty much most of Africa is safe, and the people are warm and nice. Most of the countries, 45 of the countries, you're going to get a warm reception. You're going to get a real quality of life, way of life. So, what else? Right. So now, fast forward, their infrastructure is great. Their roads are great. They have, modern bridges, everything going over into Tanzania. And their resources, they make their money, and 74% of their of the people work in agriculture. So if you are thinking about moving to the east or anywhere, I could tell you, no matter what, agriculture, agribusiness is where it's at on the continent because of the richness of the resources and the soils, and it's no one else. That's why every single country in the world, continent in the world, has come to Africa to get some. Not to give, but to get some. Because the continent has everything, right? Has everything. So there, I told you about the hotels. Okay. They're building high rises right next to the hotels. Tons of construction and daily, but also with all of that construction in the city, they're making it a point to still have a lot of trees, so it's not a concrete jungle that I love. You still have beautiful parks and the chill, and you can look at the green space and everything like that. They've made a conscious decision to keep the city, the inner city, just as beautiful and lush as the outer. That I really love. That's also different about Uganda. Okay. Um, they have beautiful homes, even in, I don't want to say the working class, but in, they have beautiful homes that doesn't have to be the exclusive mansions. But if you want to live in the countryside in a mansion sitting on 10 acres, you can with, um, or you can be in the city in a very sleek, fancy, um, upscale condo, high rise. They have it all in Uganda. In Uganda, okay. Um, the streets are very well maintained. Let me see what else. Masaka City is a city to watch. So y'all put that in, like, in your little notes. Masaka City is on the rise. Everybody's looking like at Kampala and Kabi, but Masaka City, they are really doing some things, and it's really a place that people need to check out. Who is anyone in the chat on YouTube or on Facebook? Are y'all from Uganda? Have y'all been to Uganda? What y'all got to say about Uganda if y'all have been there? Do you want to go to Uganda? Put in the chat for me. Put in the chat for me, okay? But yeah, their main source of money. And I saw a thread that Africa in the agricultural space is going to be making like $1.7 trillion just in the agricultural space by 2030. So any of y'all that's gone to VCU in agriculture and is not working for you right here, y'all know where to go. If anyone took up agriculture, and I know Virginia State University over in the burg of Virginia, they have one of the top notch agricultural um, programs. So this is an opportunity for y'all to expand on that and make it your own. You're not going to be redlined. You're not going to be discriminated. There's no credit system. You don't have a credit score over in the continent. As long as you have money and you can pay it, they're not judging you on your credit score. They don't even have a credit score. You don't have a credit score. Okay. So you're out to be able to do any and everything. Right. So that is the flavor. What things to do when you are in Uganda? So in Uganda, the obvious safari, but it's with a twist. You can do gorilla tracking. Okay. You gorilla tracking, I just want to put a side note there, is not cheap. Gorilla tracking can cost you 10 grand to 20 grand. So we ain't out there chasing no gorilla. Okay. But as my former employer told me, no one goes. Safari is a multi-billion-dollar business in the continent. And spoiler alert, that's why we have to get over there with our resources. And this is another opportunity for us in the diaspora that has the resources. Whoop, that has the resources, that has, yeah, that has the resources, that has the you know, the know-with-all and wherewithal, because a lot of people have worked in the corporate space and had a lot of, professional development, that only 15%. So be careful when y'all book your trips. 15%. And I told you how much um, the safari business brings in. 15% is owned, only 15% is owned by people of color. I'll repeat that for the folks in the back. 15%. When you go to Africa and you go on safaris in South Africa, Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, anywhere, Rwanda, 15%. Not of Africans, but of people of color. 85% of the lodges are owned by Europeans. And it's mostly because their ancestors came and pirated, allegedly, pirated the land years ago. But see, South Africa, after Mandela, said, oh, no, that's what y'all won't be doing. So we're going to take all of that back and give you, we're going to come in eminent domain, and we're going to pay you a few dollars, and you're going to go about your business because your granddaddy, great granddaddy went and stole these people land. So that's how, because people are like, well, how is that? How can these folks own not thousands, not hundreds of acres? Like they're giving Khalees the business. And I'm like, that's so interesting. When all of these folks own thousands of acres, not hundreds, thousands of acres of land. Nobody say a word. No one says a word, and then has the nerve to put a structure and a lodge in the middle of the animals' paradise and make money. And then have the people that they stole it from their ancestors, allegedly, working for them. Because more than likely the people haven't gone anywhere. So when they come and they take it over, and they are astute enough to know that there's supposed to be documentation. So they're like, oh no, we own this. See, we have the deed. The folks that are on the land, they don't know what a deed is, especially like more than likely the folks that died or whatsoever. By the time these people got on the land, they didn't know. They was probably kids, and now they're working for the people that pirated. It gets deep. So that's why I be looking sideways to folks. So anyway, what else? So things to do if you are a hiker, a trekker, really going to safari and living and really appreciating the big five. But the gorillas are a um, what is it when it's an endangered species, so they're very protected and they're in protected spaces. They also have the chimpanzees, the crocodiles, elephants, of course, and you can go and see that. But if you just want to get one with nature, this is a great place to be. And as I mentioned before, you can get with nature being in the city. So this is just a chill place that you can go to. And it's in East Africa. So the trip is long, but not that long. You can get there by like Ethiopian Airlines. that happens to be an African owned airline, and it's a very good airline. I have traveled it. I traveled in coach and I traveled in business class. Very nice. They keep to the culture. The food was great. The professionalism was nice. So it's very important to also understand, if you are really embracing the motherland, is to get everything that's connected to the motherland too. So, Rwanda Air, Ethiopian Air, Egypt Air, Kenyan Air, all African owned airlines, and all of them are operate top notch, but you would never know because they keep it very quiet. Just interesting, 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 interesting. So, other other sectors that have opportunity and is doing well, okay, is concrete, steel, sugar, and vehicle assembly. Uganda also has the first and only electric buses. Their public transportation runs on electric. Their buses run on electric. Albert, how you been? Welcome back. I'm back. I'm gonna be a good girl and stay, I think. I was sending people off to the motherland, and I gotta make sure my people are good. Gotta make sure my people are good. But thank you so much for coming on. Yes, they have the first electric public transportation. Their buses are electric. Okay, someone's uh, checking in on my YouTube side, so I gotta say hi to my YouTube. Hey, hey, Mr. Roland, how are you? Abajo, where you? Where are you checking in from? Usually, YouTube is my international. Facebook is my U.S. people, right? Where you checking in from, Mr. Roland? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please share. Sharing is Karen. Uh, uh, check that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. You don't know I'll be forgetting all that stuff. What else? So we talked about that. Also, with the everyday today, they building like crazy, right? Hotels, so the tourist industry. So banking, because they need, the banking industry and the tourism industry. I told you I saw Hilton building a high-rise, brand new hotel, telecommunications, and education. Education always in every single country is going to be a winner. So educators, teachers that can't stand, that couldn't wait until the last day of school, you have the summer to do some research on any place you want to go. And a lot of times in certain countries, they give you housing, they value teachers, not like the US. They value educators. So every single country, they want English speaking teachers, and or people that speak English. And you can take classes, you can take like a course that you can actually teach people English in any country. So, and then the children in the continent are so well mannered. They want to learn. It's just a whole different vibe. So educators out there, definitely consider consider that as an opportunity. Like tourism growing like crazy, because everyone now has seen a little view of like, wow, what? They living like that? They not in huts. They don't have flies around their head. They not running with the monkeys. What? They got drivers? They got chefs? Nah. Yeah. 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 That's what they have. That's how they living over in Africa, in the continent. Yes. So with the everyday, you have healthy food. You can get from Miss Yvette. Welcome. Um, yeah, you have healthy foods. Like a typical breakfast will consist of not eggs and sausage and grits and hash browns and all that stuff and bread. No, it consists of watermelon, avocado, banana, maybe a little pancake or chapati. That is like a common street food that's really, really good. And in the different East African countries, chapati tastes different. Yeah, chapati. They're like staple everyday food like ugali or us as rice pretty much is called matoki. That's a staple food that goes with like most of the food that they eat because it sucks up, so you make a stew whatsoever, and then matoki looks almost like ugali. Okay. And you eat it from there. Also, Rolex is a street food there. um and I used to love, when I was in Kenya, the chapati. I got slim, honey, quick. I got slim between the portions of the food that ironically fills you up, because I can go and have breakfast. I would usually have like they had an omelet that was like thin. They called it Spanish omelet. Then chapati, like two chapatis for like, like a bread. I have that, a bread. And then I had an avocado juice or tamarind juice or passion juice, tea or coffee, and then samosas, and that would fill me up for the day. And then later, I wouldn't eat during, and but I can't carry that water also. So yeah, so and you get slim, honey. You get slim real quick. So that's day breakfast: watermelon, avocado, banana, a pancake or chapati, or like a little egg, and some tea, or and a fresh juice. You get slim quick. You don't need no Ozempic, and it's all natural. They do not advertise. Lynette, how you been? I'm back. Um, they don't have to advertise uh organic, because everything is. And you will see it a difference in your, just you will glow. You will glow. When I'm here, when I'm in Africa, I got a different look. It's a glow because of all of the toxins that just automatically gets flushed out. And then since it's so hot, you sweating, and then you're drinking the water to flush out, and then you're having whole foods, right? So, what other cool things are every day? What time is it? Okay. Um, the electric buses, they have tons of malls also. They have tons of markets. They have tons of food that actually they export and fill in the gaps for food. That's why agriculture is so big, to Tanzania and Kenya. That's how much food, like natural foods, they produce. So that's really cool. I was talking a little bit about the Hilton, but to go over there, and also Uganda is the fifth least expensive country to travel in and live. So just to give you an example, one of my YouTubers that I'm good friends with, he went to a hotel, really, decent hotel in Kampala. It was $18, one eight, $18 a night, and that included breakfast, like a fresh fruit breakfast. When I go book for my clients, I see, when I would used to work for Amex, hotel rooms on average was $700 a night and up. I'm like, they're not even giving you a full 24 hours. Who's paying $700 a night for a hotel? Folks was paying $700 a night and up to like 1600. I saw a night. I think the highest I ever booked was like $1,600 a night, and they stayed for 2 weeks. Anyway, so let me see. Tons of markets, and again, the city, they're very organized, and Yeah, they're very organized. They're very strategic in how they operate in business. Okay. Um, they have a savanna landscape. They have a mountain range that they share, ironically, with the Democratic Republic of Congo. That's really interesting. That savanna landscape goes for thousands of miles. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. They have a tropical rainforest. They have elephants. They have hippos. They have crocodiles, and the mountain gorilla. And I think the silverback is there too. Those are very endangered, and I believe the reason why the gorilla tracking is so expensive is that the gorillas are such an endangered species that you definitely gotta pay the cost to be the boss. Um, the main just they with the I touched on like the people, like the Bantu people and all of that, but they have several different sectors of what's the name of tribes there, and they do have some pygmy tribes there. That's pretty cool. The religion, because the Europeans brought it over there, is Christian, but they did about 12% is Muslim. And but the Muslims kind of stay in the northern part. And Allison, what's up? Welcome. Got to say hi to all my people. Thank y'all so much for coming on. Sharing is Karen. Please, please, please share with just hit the share button. It's not costing you anything. Um, People won't be getting on your nerves asking, what about that Africa? What she say? Just share it and let them come on. So it's about 12% Muslim. Main language is English and Swahili, right? But they have also 40 indigenous languages. When you go probably more into the bush, because it is a bush. Not everything is all cute and pretty. It is bush. You do see people that live in mud houses, but that's just getting less and less and less and less. But you do see bush, but all of the vast land, it's so much land in the continent and in just one country that they don't even utilize. That's how massive the continent is. It's massive to where literally in some countries they haven't even had the opportunity or the resources to even tap into what their entire country has to offer. Just crazy. All right. What else? Yeah, there. We talked about the food. Let's talk about the cost of living real quick before we end. I want to thank y'all again for joining me. This is Let's Talk, Travel, and Move to Africa. So if you are thinking about going to the continent in a travel capacity or even thinking about living there, we talk about this free every I started off back in October. I was doing it every day. I got burned out. Then I wanted to make sure I had the proper content. So I just didn't want to get up here and talk every day. So I narrowed it down to Monday to Thursday because people got a weekend. 9 p.m. Keep it simple. 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday. And I'm not starting in the A's. I started at the Z's. And I'm working my way back. And we're going to learn about all of these countries, probably 45 out of the 54 of the African countries that you can right now, today, book a flight and go, and it will change your life. It will change your life. All right. So let's talk about the cost of living. As I mentioned, Uganda is the fifth least expensive place to travel and place to live in the continent. Okay. I know it's all the other countries are in our face, but go to the countries that you're still going to experience the continent but you'll be paying half to one third because Africa is not an expensive trip. Okay. Um, and mostly it's in the flight. That's where it's expensive. When you get over the flight, um, it's pennies on a dollar, pennies on the dollar. So it's the fifth least expensive, and the cost of living is about 85% less than living in the United States. Should I repeat that? I think it's almost 90% less than living in the United States. So just to give you like a range, a four-bedroom home in Kampala, very nice area, gated area, um, staff house, but it's four bedrooms for the family. Then you have staff house is $800, around $700 to $800 a month USD. And you can go from having a countryside, like literally mansion, to having, a penthouse apartment in the city. The utilities average, and we're talking about this four-bedroom home, servicing about six people, is about $97 a month in electric. Let me give you the good and bad because we got to talk about y'all know I keep it a buck. So the Uganda still got to work on the electricity. So does Nigeria. Why Nigeria still have load shedding? I have no idea. Why South Africa still has load shedding and Johannesburg have load shedding? I have no idea. They should not, especially Nigeria with all that money and all the electric companies. But Uganda, they're still working on getting the electric right. But when you are in those countries, a lot of the countries are going to solar, big solar energy plants, and not really depending on electric. And they're getting the electric from like a waterway too. I don't know how that works. But around $97 for your electric bill. Then you have a water bill that you kind of wash and whatever. That's $18 a month, and that's your county water. And then you have delivered water. So about five, what, 10 gallon, like the big things that we get from Sam's or whatever. Allison, yeah. So um though that's about $16, but it's five big things, and that's like per month or every couple months, however you drink your water. Okay. So we've added that up, 97, 18, that's what, 105 plus another 16, that's 120. Then trash, because trash in a lot of the countries at this moment, except for probably like a South Africa or Nigeria, depending. But I still think trash pickup is I don't want to say a luxury, but out of the ordinary. We take it for granted. We expect the trash man to come, but they have to pay for trash. I know I have to pay for trash, and it's only like yard stuff, and it's only like $2 when he picks it up, and he picks it up in a tutu and then dumps it somewhere. But trash pickup is $7, and that is about per month, I believe, or when they pick it up, $7 each time. And then you have to buy the gas thing for your stove if you use your stove. Help. So if you don't want to use your stove and you want a chef or a cook, things that in the United States, even though we make money, we still live like struggling, right? So, but over there, having help is a regular thing. So, a chef. I have some clients that's in Kenya now, and they're on tourist. This chef is on tourist like rate, basically, and it's $2,000 a day. $2,000 a day is about $15 that you can have your person. You can have a personal chef that will come in, cook your breakfast, and cook your work about 5 hours of the day, cook your breakfast, and then cook your dinner. It's $15 a day. Okay, and that's on tourist time. It's probably about $10 or less. Probably about $1,000 a day. You can get a chef to come and prepare your meals, everything like that. Stuff that you see Oprah doing. Yeah, we can do it too. Okay, we can do it too. So if you have a driver, all about the same. So depending on in what country you're in and what their daily rate is, um, like professionals, I would say they would get paid like 2 to 3 times what like a housekeeper would get paid, kind of like trainer. So if the average, if you're paying your housekeeper like $500 a day, that's like a little less than $4. Um, then if you need an electrician may be 1,000 or 1,500, and that's a full day's work. Okay, but that's just the way it is. And let me see, security. Most homes have security, or compounds have security. It's 10:15, 9:59. I'm going to jump off. Um, uh, that's about, I guess, $75 a month. If you need a housekeeper, that's about 50, $60 a month, depending on how often you want them to come in, depending on who's tutoring. So I think that's it.